Welcome to the Lawson and Gift podcast. Make sure to hit that like button, share the videos, and subscribe. We're on to Week 12 over-under Vegas spread picks.
Gift, last night we did a video before the Colts-Texans games. We told everyone to go under. Appreciate you guys giving us credit for that. We both are right. Subscribe, hit the like button, share the video.
Let's start. We got Miami at Cleveland, the over-under 45.
Gift, I went back and forth with this, but I'm going over because you did mention on Tuesday that Miami's defense can't stop anyone. And Fitzpatrick's going to be able to put up a 17-20 spot in this game. And you have to think the Browns' offense finally does something.
In this game, and I'm only going under because of the Miami side.
Yeah.
And you're because that's really where it's at. They could, like you said, Fitzpatrick could score 20. He might only score 10. That's where we're at with Miami. They are a bad football team. But Cleveland, I do expect them to score quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because, like I said when we did our Vegas spread picks earlier this week, who's going to be put on Odell? And then who's going to go on Landry? They don't really have anybody that can do that. And with that, let's go to Denver at Buffalo, the over-under 37.5.
I'm going under, man. And we talked about in the power rankings the other day that this Buffalo offense really hasn't evolved. It really hasn't revolutionized. The run game really hasn't been as strong as it's needed to be and can be, in my opinion. That's the main reason why I'm going under. Then you got Brandon Allen and the Broncos. Listen, they came out and played some really good football against the Minnesota Vikings. But a lot of it was once-in-a-lifetime plays, like Cortland Sutton throwing a perfect 45-yard dime, Brandon Allen throwing 2 or 3 deep dimes down the field with good coverage. Is that going to happen again? Are 4 dimes going to be thrown? Is Cortland Sutton going to be throwing 45-yard passes? Can't count me out on that whole train. Under.
Yeah, I got under as well, and you mentioned the Buffalo Bills' struggles offensively. That's still an issue. Obviously, they don't have anybody that's explosive offensively, so I think there's not going to be a lot of points on that end, especially because Vic Fangio, despite everything that's happened, we know that he can put forth a little bit of a defensive game plan. So I think that's going to be under on that end. And then Denver's offense, like you said, maybe Sutton makes a few plays, but nothing like we saw against the Vikings. So with that, let's go to Pittsburgh at Cincy, the over-under 38.5, and I actually think this might be a money pick.
If I'm going under, it just smells like under. Mason Rudolph smells like under. Ryan Finley smells like under.
Yeah.
Cincinnati not being able to run the rock effectively smells like under. Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh's defense performing top 10 for most of the year. This is an under.
I really like the under in this, and since we both agree, I feel really good about it. Cincy, obviously a lot of problems offensively. You mentioned Finley. They're not able to run the football. There's really nobody for them to throw the ball to either. Even Auden Tate is having concussion problems and issues. And then you think about this Pittsburgh defense coming in, and I think they're going to shut down Cincinnati. And then you think about Pittsburgh's offensive problems. We don't know if Juju's going to suit up, and all they really have to throw to is James Washington.
Yeah.
And that's not a good formula, and Rudolph's been struggling. I would be shocked if this doesn't go under. And with that, we'll go to the Giants at Chicago, the over-under 40.5.
If I'm going under, and if I actually think Chicago is able to generate like 20, 24 points, but this Daniel Jones thing against the Chicago's defense that is still down the ball, still pretty good, I'm going under.
I got to go under as well, too. Chase Daniel, I think they got to go with him, but even if he starts and they put up a few points, I can't see the Giants doing much, and that's really where I'm at. Daniel Jones, he just turns the ball over too much. I could see Khalil Mack getting a couple fumble recoveries in this game. So Giants offense stalls in Chicago too, by the way, so got to go under with that. Next game, Oakland at the Jets, over under 46.5.
I'm going under once again, and it's not that I don't like this Oakland offense. It's that it's cold. It's time for unders to come into fruition again. And when you look at Oakland, they're not going to put up 30 points. They're not. And I don't see the Jets doing anything significant either. I see the Jets probably putting up 17. That's why I'm going under.
I have to go over because I could see each team scoring in the 20s. And from a Jets perspective, I think one of the few things that they do well at times is Darnold throwing the ball. So I think against Oakland, they can get some someplace through the air. And then Oakland, I think this is a game where they could really open up offensively, even with a lack of a receiving target opposite Williams and Waller. I think the run game will get going in this game like it has been, and then I think we see play action. I think this is a game where Oakland will move the ball fairly easy. And with that, let's go to Carolina at New Orleans, over under 47.
Yeah, and this popped up to -10, by the way, on the spread line. So I'm going Carolina to cover. Just want to make that clear, reiterate that for Tuesday. I mean, since it jumped up 3 points since we picked it.
Yeah.
And I actually think this is going to be a close game. I don't think New Orleans loses. For the sake of it being a close game, I think Carolina covers because, okay, like you said, this Kyle Allen Cinderella story seems to be coming to an end, but they still have Christian McCaffrey. They're still worth 20-plus points, and certainly the New Orleans Saints are worth 20-plus points over a decaying Panthers defense recently.
Yeah, this is tough because you seem pretty sure about Carolina, and I'm at the point where I'm not so sure. They're going up against what we believe is the best team in football and have the wheels completely come off for Carolina offensively. Is that O-line just at the point where it's crumbled and it's open season on Kyle Allen and there's not going to be much blocking?
I don't think it's going to be open season. Carolina's good at keeping it close.
Well, Ron Rivera has done a good job in the past, but I don't know if he can even cover this up. But I got under in this game because New Orleans, their defense at home, I think they're able to get it done. And with that, we'll go to Tampa at Atlanta, the over-under 51.5.
Gift, give me over here. And it's really tricky, Gift, because when we're looking at Atlanta, we've seen the defensive performances the last 2 weeks. But I'm going Matt Ryan to put up 30. We know Jameis is going to be able to get his 24-27. That's why I'm going over.
In this game, I have to go under because a lot of it has to do with Atlanta and have they reached that point where they're going to finish well? Like you said, are they peaking right now? I don't know, but from what we've seen, I got to believe this defense is going to keep playing good. And because of that, with how poorly Winston's been playing, I got to think that Tampa doesn't do much offensively in Atlanta. Atlanta seems to have fight left to end the season, so I got to go under in this, even if Atlanta puts up points. And with that, we'll go to Detroit at Washington, over under 41.
Under. No Matt Stafford. Bank this in really quick. Who the hell is Dwayne Haskins going to hit to? Yeah, this is an under. I'm really excited about it. This is normally a game I'd stay away from, but this is definitely a good one for the parlays. And when you look at Detroit, man, we know the defense is bad, but Dwayne Haskins isn't the dude to exploit it.
Yeah, I got to go under as well. Washington's going to get nothing but field goals. That's first and foremost. Haskins having to do a lot with that. And even at this point, Washington hasn't even ran the football well with AP. And then Detroit, backup quarterback. They're traveling to Washington. I don't see them scoring a whole lot. So I like the under in that too. I think that's a borderline money pick. And with that, let's go to Jacksonville at Tennessee, over under 41.5.
Conventional wisdom would tell you this is going to be under. There's going to be a lot of running the ball. It's going to be black and blue, AFC South type football. But something tells me this goes over because I think this is going to be a close game. Jacksonville season's on the line. You could even say Tennessee season's on the line after the Texans' big win last night against the Colts. So when it gets to that point, we've seen Tennessee under Ryan Tannehill show lots of rejuvenation and lots of explosion in the fourth quarters. That's why I think it pushes just above over.
I got the over in this as well, too. And certainly Tennessee and Jacksonville are both going to want to run the football, but you mentioned something like both their seasons are on the line. They can't hold anything back, and I think that's going to force them to maybe throw a little bit more. I think points are going to be scored. Tennessee, I could see them scoring 28, possibly even in the 30s in this game. We've seen them open up on Jacksonville before, and they're at Tennessee in this game. And then Jacksonville's offense, they can't hold anything back. Foles, you got to believe that he's got to have a good game. They got to score points, so I like the over in that as well. And with that, let's go to Dallas at New England, America's game of the week.
America's game!
Over under 45.
Some Cowboys on national TV, like we always get to see that. Give me under. I'm just not too excited about I'm not too excited about the situation with Dak Prescott against this New England defense, but yes. I'm also not excited about Tom Brady's situation with his wide receivers. That's why I'm going under, and we haven't seen this Patriots run game get moving.
I really like the under in this game, and from a Dallas perspective, if they could pound it with Zeke, if that was a definite, then I would think, all right, they got two ways they can approach this game, but with Zeke and his game not being on, and then Dak trying to force the ball into this secondary, especially in New England, I don't like that. And then you're right, New England hasn't found their way offensively yet, and I think they'll win this game, but it certainly won't be a blowout, I don't think. So I'm going under there too. And let's get to Green Bay at 49ers, and that's the real game of the week in my opinion. Over under 47.5.
If I'm going under, and I think San Fran's defense puts in a good performance. I know everyone has had a lot of reaction to our Game of the Week video, but I do think San Fran's defense puts in a good performance because I do think this Packers team will be one-dimensional, and I don't see the explosion without Kittle in the San Francisco 49ers offense that is reliant upon him. I'm going under.
I got to go over because I still believe in Aaron the Game Rodgers. Now, if it gets to a point where he doesn't even have a second to throw the football, and Bosa and Ford are on him all the time, then all right, I'm going to be wrong. But I got to believe that the passing attack for Green Bay is going to be here. These are two good teams going at each other. It's a big game. I got to believe Green Bay is going to be putting forth everything they have. And then the 49ers, too. We know they can score points, and this Green Bay defense, it's vulnerable.
Yeah.
You can attack it. And with that, let's go to Seattle at Philly, over under 48.
Over, because I think this is a fourth quarter game decided in the last few minutes. And I do think Russell America Wilson is going to be able to generate probably over 27, 30 points. That's why I'm going over. Philly will be able to do some of the same, but they are struggling right now on offense, so this isn't one to bet by any means.
I have to go over in this game as well because right now Philly's defense isn't where they need to be at, and Russell is where he needs to be at, and this Seattle offense just seems to be getting better as the weeks go on, so I think they're primed to put up points. And then Philly, unfortunately, with the injuries, it makes the pick a little bit tough. But that Seattle defense, you can pass on them, you can run on them. There's issues there. So I think Philly at home, they put up some points. That goes over. And with that, we'll wrap it up with the Ravens at the Rams, over under 46.5.
Over, because it seems like every Ravens game seems to go over. And if the Rams are going to win this game, like I think they do pull this upset, the offense has to come to fertilization. Something has to happen. Something has to change. More play action. Expect it. Expect the Ravens front seven to be pounded, and that will lead the points. This is going over.
I got to go over as well, too. I want to preface it on saying that I think Robert Woods is going to be back from his personal issue.
He is.
And Brandon Cooks will watch that. But even if Brandon Cooks doesn't play, I think this still goes over. I think the Ravens are able to put up points because despite what we think is going to happen down the road, right now they're playing pretty good football. And I think the Rams slowly are finding their way. I don't think they're quite there yet, but they're getting closer.
Subscribe, hit the like button, share the videos, the Lawson and Gift Podcast.